In ancient China, there was a famous physician named Bian Que, who was said to possess diagnostic techniques akin to modern-day CT scans. However, these tales seemed so fantastical that they were always regarded as mere legends. But then, in 2012, reports surfaced claiming that Bian Que's tomb had been unearthed in Sichuan, China, and that ancient medical texts might be revived. This sparked a wave of speculation, with rumors spreading and becoming more believable over time. So, is there really a tomb of Bian Que? Is it just hype, or is there some truth to it? Today we're going to dive into this story. 10 years ago, at the underground construction site of Chengdu Metro Line 3, a worker remarked, "The water seepage from above just can't be stopped. What if we've dug up something unclean?" The foreman signaled for everyone to remain calm. Above them lay the bustling Chuanshan Road, and they were working 10 meters underground. Normally, seepage would only occur from below and around them due to groundwater, but now water was dripping incessantly from above, which was quite strange. Half a month later, as the tunnel advanced several dozen meters, they reached the platform of the Military General Hospital station, where the workers encountered this bizarre seepage again. This time, the flow was even stronger, pouring out from the upper side walls like a small river accompanied by a strong, earthy smell. Now the foreman was visibly anxious as he watched water gushing out from the walls. Suddenly, several red lacquer bowls appeared, looking as if they were filled with fresh blood. Not long after, the seepage stopped. Captain Ji from the Chengdu archaeological team also arrived at the scene. After examining the lacquer bowls and sniffing the soil, he suddenly said to the workers, "Can you help me out? I need to go in and take a look." The archaeological team certainly had guts. The workers watched as Captain Z deftly crawled through the small hole created by the seepage. A few minutes later, he emerged with a serious expression. When a team member asked him what he found, he simply pointed and said, "Red. Everywhere is bright red." What did this mean? Had the workers truly unearthed an ominous blood tomb? The so-called blood tombs are actually a type of special ancient burial. Nowadays, we decorate our bridal chambers in various shades of bright red. But in ancient times, certain tribes that practiced shamanism also decorated their burial chambers in the same vibrant red color as bridal rooms. We are not unfamiliar with these shamanistic tribes. They are said to be the teachers of the Yellow Emperor, and originated from the area around Wuxia and Zigui, in the state of Chu. The most authentic descendants of the state of Chu would use these blood tombs to express their inner sense of belonging. Archaeological experts have encountered many of these tombs in Jingzhou and Henan, but this is Sichuan, Chengdu. Historically, the state of Chu never occupied the Chengdu plain. Did they unearth some hidden history, or does this blood tomb have another meaning? Captain Zai was momentarily at a loss. After returning to the surface, he made two assessments. First, if this was a tomb of the state of Chu, then there must be more than just this one. As the Chu people like to create family burial sites, there should definitely be larger tombs nearby. Second, the blood tomb might have already been looted, as the chamber contained not only the bright red material, but also a lot of clay, likely flowing in from a hole created by thieves. Based on these two conclusions, Captain Z began organizing drilling and investigations, hoping to find more ancient tombs. However, the drilling team faced their first challenge because the bustling Chuanshan Road above made it impossible to use a Luoyang shovel for probing. The team could only drill in the green belts and flower beds along the roadside, which seemed quite ridiculous. No one believed this method would lead to the discovery of ancient tombs, but in fact, Captain Z later earned the nickname Fortunate General due to his good luck. The drilling team had just taken a scoop in the green belt about 5 or 6 meters to the north when they unexpectedly discovered another ancient tomb. As if that wasn't enough, during their investigations, the workers excitedly recounted the story of the water seeping from above 2 weeks ago. Without hesitation, Captain Z coordinated with the relevant departments and had the cement road that had been in use for many years torn up. When they took another scoop, they indeed found yet another ancient tomb. Just like that, 3 ancient tombs were discovered, named Tomb 1, Tomb 2, and Tomb 3 from south to north, like 3 mystery boxes. The archaeological team was invigorated and eager to continue digging deeper. Tomb 1 was quite shallow. After digging through the cement road surface for just a few dozen centimeters, they uncovered the lid of the coffin chamber. It was quite dramatic. A massive city pipeline had already punctured the coffin chamber. The team felt a chill run down their spines because not only did the lid have two ancient looting holes, but looking into one of them, they also found a modern mineral water bottle. If there had only been ancient looting holes, there might still be some lacquered wooden artifacts left in the tomb. However, the presence of the modern water bottle indicated that contemporary grave robbers had been there, and it was unlikely that anything remained. Watching the crane remove the lid piece by piece, the team had almost lost hope for this Tomb 1 mystery box. Suddenly, a brightly colored human face emerged from the silt. The team perked up immediately. This was a typical lacquered wooden figurine from the Han Dynasty. Why had both ancient and modern grave robbers overlooked this figurine? The archaeological team didn't have time to ponder. They hurried to clean the area, as it seemed there was still more to find. During the cleaning process, they encountered a significant amount of silt. This silt further confirmed their hypothesis about the Chu tombs. The silt was a mixture of blue clay and underground water, and the blue clay was used by the Chu people to seal their tombs. When utilized to perfection, it could create airtight conditions for over 2,000 years, as seen in the Mawangdui Han tomb, preventing air leaks. At the moment of penetration, flammable gases sprayed out at high pressure. These flammable gases could react with the torches held by grave robbers, creating what is known as the fire pit tomb. This underground explosion would deter grave robbers. Now this blue clay had filled the tomb, becoming another form of preservation. There's a saying in archaeology, dry for 1,000 years, wet for 10,000 years, neither dry nor wet lasts only 6 months. This long-term humid environment can keep lacquered wooden artifacts from fading for thousands of years. That's why the human face found in the silt appeared so vibrant. As they continued to excavate, they discovered 2 skeletons left in the tomb, one male and one female. The male was around 45 years old, and the female about 40. It appeared to be a couple's joint burial. But why weren't they in coffins? Captain Z explained that it was due to grave robbing. The robbers had dragged the deceased out to loot their accompanying burial goods. After studying the male skeleton, Captain Zai noted that the man had a well-developed skeletal structure standing about 1.7 meters tall. His left elbow and right shoulder joints were particularly robust, and the lower limbs showed signs of what's known as the horse rider's small plane. This suggested he was a general skilled in horseback riding and archery, a formidable figure in life, likely having spent his life on the battlefield. As they continued to dig, 2 critical pieces of information emerged. One was coins, including half-tael coins from the Qin dynasty, and 5 Ju coins from the Han dynasty. This indicated that the tomb's owner was likely a general who lived during the reign of Emperor Wu of the Han dynasty. The other key discovery was a lacquer tray prominently inscribed with the characters Jing Shi. The Jing clan was the most authentic descendant of the Chu state. The saying goes, though the Chu may be reduced to 3 households, they will ultimately overthrow the Qin. The 3 households refer to the 3 surnames of Ku, Jing, and Zhao, all relatives of the Chu king. Delving further into history, one may recall the name of Xiang Yu's father. This is a historical mystery. In the legend of the Seeking Qin, Xiang Yu's father is named Xiang Xiaolong. However, another legend claims that Xiang Yu's father was Jing Ju. To ensure the survival of his descendants during the chaotic times, Jing Ju adopted Xiang Yu to his cousin, Xiang Liang. Later, after Xiang Yu's tragic end at Wujiang, his descendants reverted to the Jing surname and were favored by Liu Bang, eventually settling in Sichuan. If this legend holds, then the owner of this battlefield tomb could very well be the grandson of Xiang Yu. A truly legendary tale. However, this can only be considered material for novels, not history or archaeology. The genuine archaeological findings from Tomb 1 included over 50 wooden slips. Upon deciphering them, the team discovered these were ancient governmental documents and divinations related to witchcraft. The contents of the witchcraft texts are no longer comprehensible to modern readers, but the official documents recorded that during the Han dynasty, not only was property declaration necessary, but property taxes were also levied. Merchants and moneylenders had to pay 120 coins for every 2,000 coins in assets, while artisans were taxed 120 coins for every 4,000 coins. If they bought luxury cars, each vehicle incurred a tax of 120 coins, with merchants and moneylenders facing 240 coins per car. It seemed that this general, who had spent his life in military service, had likely been involved in various tax collections. After excavating Tomb 1, Captain Z felt confident. He believed that the mineral water bottle was probably discarded by the workers who had initially laid the pipelines. It seemed that these three ancient tombs had not been disturbed by modern grave robbers. What surprises would await them as they continued to open the other two mystery boxes? The second tomb that was excavated is tomb number 3, located at the northernmost end. Upon opening tomb number 3, ancient looting tunnels were also discovered. After lifting the lid, they found a hidden chamber within the tomb. This chamber was a secret compartment used by the tomb owner to hide treasures. As the archaeological team continued to investigate these hidden compartments, they made an interesting discovery. The ancient tomb robbers had acted quite strangely. They had only emptied the southern compartment, leaving the northern compartment untouched. Why was that? Captain Z speculated two possibilities. 1. This was the work of an inside job. The tomb owner might have been buried by them, so they knew there was nothing valuable in the northern compartment and thus did not loot it. 2. For some reason, they simply overlooked the northern compartment. Not wanting to dwell on the possibilities, the team quickly began to clear out the compartment. Inside, they found lacquered wooden artifacts and a large number of bamboo baskets. It seemed the tomb robbers really did know there was nothing of value in the northern compartment. But why had the tomb owner placed these lacquered wooden items and bamboo baskets in the compartment, considering them treasures of a lifetime? Suddenly, one of the team members exclaimed, "Look over there! There's a naked wooden figurine. Could it be a meridian figure?" Captain Z immediately became alert. This was reminiscent of a meridian figure unearthed in Mianzhu, Sichuan, in 1993, which had similar features but was incomplete. It couldn't be definitively said to provide direct evidence that traditional Chinese medicine had already mastered the theory of meridians over 2,000 years ago. However, the complete wooden figurine before them could change the narrative if it were indeed a meridian figure, a potential national treasure. Captain Z instructed everyone to be cautious and carefully absorb the mud around the figurine with sponges before extracting it. Once it was lifted, Captain Z took several photos with his phone and sent them to Dean Wang with a note saying, "Discovery of a meridian figure." Dean Wang's phone call came back almost immediately, insisting, "No one is allowed to touch it." Dean Wang then hurried to the excavation site and arranged for the meridian figure to be taken to the laboratory. Within half an hour, the meridian figure was removed and brought to the lab. Upon examination with a microscope, it was revealed that this wasn't just a meridian figure, it was clearly a meridian acupoint figure. The figure even had small inscriptions on it, indicating both meridians and acupoints, pushing the history of Chinese meridian theory back over 1,000 years. Previously, the academic community only recognized the first meridian figure created by the medical official Wang Weiyi in 1026 during the Northern Song dynasty. The meridian copper figure currently housed in the Palace Museum is actually a Ming dynasty imitation of Wang Weiyi's figure. Thus, based on archaeological evidence, the history of Chinese meridian theory was believed to be less than 1,000 years, not the legendary ancient theory it was thought to be. Now, with Captain Z directly excavating a meridian acupoint figure from over 2,000 years ago, the impact was enormous. As they continued digging, another team member suddenly noted, "Those wooden strips aren't bamboo baskets, they have writing on them. They're ancient bamboo slips." The team noted the significant differences between Han Dynasty bamboo slips and ancient bamboo slips. By the Qin and Han dynasties, bamboo slips had become much wider due to the increasing number of literate individuals, turning from a luxury item into a practical product. In contrast, during ancient times, few people could write, so each bamboo slip was made as light as possible, with smaller characters to make them easier to store. The unexpectedly large number of such thin bamboo slips raised the question of what ancient texts the tomb owner had collected. Carefully extracted, these slips were taken to the laboratory for interpretation. To everyone's astonishment, a mythological figure emerged from the bamboo slips. The figure was Bian Que. The analysis revealed that these were over 900 medical texts attributed to Bian Que, an astonishing find. The Bian Que medical school had been lost for thousands of years, unseen even by ancient doctors. Yet here, in the present day, they were witnessing it firsthand. The last appearance of the Bian Que medical school was over 2,000 years ago, when Bangu wrote the Book of Han, He mentioned that ancient Chinese medicine was divided into 3 major schools and 7 branches, which were the Yellow Emperor's School, the Bian Que School, and the Bai School. As the tomb excavation progressed, public speculation about the discovery of Bian Que's tomb began to spread rapidly. However, the Bian Que in our textbooks is not the one who authored these medical texts. His real name was Qin Yuer, a renowned physician from the spring and autumn period. He is likely a representative of the Bian Que medical school and was revered as Bian Que by contemporaries. Historically and archaeologically, the real Bian Que was a much older ancient physician, depicted as a bird-headed deity wielding acupuncture needles. Such cases were common. For instance, Guiguzi, a revered ancient figure, was claimed by many notable figures from the Warring States period as their master. Yet, in truth, Guiguzi could not have lived for so long. Similarly, Su Qin, Zhang Yi, Pang Zhuan, and Sun Bin were all said to have graduated from Guiguzi's school. The same applies to Bian Que. Qin Yuer was merely recorded in history as a graduate of Bian Que's school. What they had unearthed in the tomb was a collection of medical papers from the Bian Que school. What exactly was documented in these papers? The experts initially organized 9 sets of medical texts, editing 7 of them into a modern book titled Tianhui Medical Slips. Let's take a look at this book to see what the Bian Que Medical School had to say. Key point 1. Medicinal herbs and alcohol. One of the texts is titled 60 Medicinal Formulas, which is very practical, listing 60 formulas and their applicable ailments. However, modern doctors were astounded to find that among the 60 formulas, 34 explicitly stated that the medicinal ingredients should be consumed with alcohol. The saying, cephalosporins and alcohol don't mix, refers to the risk of acute death if one drinks alcohol after taking cephalosporin antibiotics. Modern traditional Chinese medicine also advises against consuming alcohol when taking herbal medicine. However, the ancient Bian Que medical school suggested combining herbal medicine with alcohol. This practice is actually scientifically sound. Experts found that the Bian Que medical text did not emphasize boiling herbs in water. Modern Chinese medicine predominantly employs high-temperature boiling methods, which can be problematic. Many natural components in herbs are unstable and lose their medicinal properties when subjected to high heat. The Bian Que texts suggested grinding the herbs and mixing them with alcohol for consumption, which is more scientific. Alcohol, specifically ethanol, serves as an excellent organic solvent capable of dissolving many natural medicinal compounds that water cannot. Thus, the methods of administering herbs can yield significantly different results based on how they are prepared and consumed. Consequently, experts believe the roots of medicinal wine may derive from the Bian Que school's philosophy. Key point 2. The human eye CT scan. Among the 9 sets of medical texts discovered, 4.5 focused on diagnostics, underscoring the Bian Que school's emphasis on diagnostic practices. This aligns with historical tales of Bian Que. Recall the story of Bian Que visiting Duke Huan of Qi. According to history, Bian Que, whose real name was Qin Yuer, visited the state of Qi 3 times. Each time he stated, "Your ailment is on the surface. If left untreated, it may worsen." The 3rd time he remarked, "Your condition has reached the gastrointestinal tract. If not treated, it may penetrate deeper." On the 4th visit, Bian Que simply looked at the Duke without saying a word before leaving. Curious, the Duke sent someone to pursue Bian Que for clarification. Bian Que explained, "When the ailment was on the surface, a hot compress could resolve it. When it was in the skin, acupuncture could help. For gastrointestinal issues, herbal soup would suffice. But if it has reached the marrow, then only fate can decide." Upon realizing the Duke's illness had advanced to the marrow, he said nothing further and departed. Within 5 days, Duke Huan fell gravely ill, and Bian Que had already fled to the state of Qin, where soon after, the Duke passed away. It's precisely because of this story that many people jokingly refer to Bian Que as a human CT scanner, able to assess someone's medical condition with just a glance. In fact, Sima Qian recorded an even more exaggerated tale. He said that Bian Que's medical skills were derived from a mysterious old man known as Changsang Jun. This old man lived in a hotel run by Bian Que for over 10 years. Then one day he gave Bian Que dozens of medicinal pills to take daily. After 30 days, Bian Que suddenly gained the ability to see into people's organs, particularly excelling in diagnosing ailments. He was later revered as Bian Que. So do legends and archaeology converge here? Why did Bian Que give people the impression of having a human CT scanner? It's because the Bian Que Medical School truly emphasized diagnosis, especially in a text called Wu's Maijin, which describes pulse readings in such vivid detail that it feels as if one were seeing it firsthand, even detailing the colors of the pulse. I can only wonder what the experience of seeing the pulse's color must be like. This wealth of diagnostic content has led experts to believe that the essence of traditional Chinese medicine lies in strengthening diagnosis. As the Bian Que Medical School suggests, when the diagnosis is accurate, the doctor merely uses acupuncture and herbal remedies to help the patient adjust their body. Disease and treatment are never in a life or death opposition, but are rather a matter of balance within the larger system of the human body. When the body is out of harmony, various diseases may arise. However, treatment is not about eradicating the disease, it's about adjusting the body to restore balance, allowing diseases to naturally disappear. This line of thought is very similar to modern immunology theories, and it has been recorded in history. It can be found in the story of how Bian Que treated Zhao Jianzi, who had been in a coma for 5 days. Bian Que was called in to treat him, but he did nothing and instead told Zhao Jianzi's servants and physicians that Zhao Jianzi was not ill and did not need any treatment, assuring them he would wake up in 3 days. Indeed, on the 3rd day, Zhao Jianzi awoke. Unearthed documents also record many profound ideas and unique prescriptions, but I won't list them all here. Let's continue to look at the stories from the archaeological site. When tombs number 1 and number 3 were excavated, the modern buildings above tomb number 2 had finally been demolished. The archaeological team pressed on, and soon uncovered another national treasure that could rewrite history. 4 miniature models of shoe brocade looms. This is incredible. The shoe brocade technique has been lost for over 1,000 years. For instance, take this wrist guard unearthed from the ancient city of Jingjue in Xinjiang, which was woven over 2,000 years ago by people in Sichuan, using 10,140 strands of gold thread over a width of 50 centimeters. Despite experts' attempts to replicate it for over 20 years, they could never reproduce it with ancient equipment. But suddenly, with the discovery of the 4 loom models, the experts immediately set to work recreating the real machines. When they used these reconstructed machines to replicate the Jingjue wrist guard, they actually succeeded. The long-lost shoe brocade craftsmanship was revived in an instant. It felt like a dream. Now let's take a look at the owner of tomb number 2. She was a woman in her 50s, with deformations in her lumbar vertebrae and pelvis. Experts believe this was caused by years of laboring with a bent back, indicating that she was once a hard-working weaver. Her tomb also contained many coins from the Qin dynasty and a seal known as Wanshi Nu. During the early Han dynasty, Qin coins were still freely circulating, leading experts to analyze that this female owner was likely a wealthy woman named Wanshi Nu. She may have risen from being a weaver to a business owner, running a shoe brocade factory, and ended her life in considerable wealth. Her tomb is only about 4 to 5 meters away from the tomb of the owner of tomb number 3, suggesting they might have been a couple. There's also a clue. Based on the dating of the unearthed coins, it appears this female tycoon could be an ancestor of the owner of tomb number 1, the general. Additionally, her tomb yielded 3 bamboo containers filled with various animal bones, indicating a banquet with 3 tables of leftover food. It seems this female tycoon was also a food enthusiast. Next, experts revived a lost Han dynasty dish called ji xian, which involved shredding preserved chicken meat into fine strips for cold dishes. This could be a predecessor to today's Sichuan-style lantern shadow beef or chicken strips. Returning to reality, this is the story of the legendary tomb of Bian Que. It is not the tomb of the Bian Que we study in textbooks, but it has revived the knowledge of the Bian Que Medical School. Additionally, it has brought back shoe brocade craftsmanship, Han Dynasty cuisine, and even aspects of the Han Dynasty property tax system. Perhaps this is the joy of archaeology, seeing vivid lives of ancient people through their tombs. This family hails from the Chu state. Among the younger generation is a mighty general, and among the elders are scholars studying medicine and a food-loving female tycoon. So, let's use our imagination. If the owner of tomb number 1 is indeed the grandson of Xiang Yu, then the owners of tombs number 2 and number 3 could be Sheng Yu's daughter-in-law and son respectively. If that's the case, then the son of the Western Chu overlord is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, and his daughter-in-law is a food-loving businesswoman named Wan Shi Nu. Alright, that's all for today's story. Thank you, everyone.